Olá, meus amores! Antes de tudo, gratidão por você estar presente para mais um conteúdo. Eu estou passando aqui rapidinho para lembrar de curtir agora esse vídeo, se inscrever no canal, ativar o sininho para não perder nenhum vídeo incrível que trazemos aqui para você. Combinado? Agora, apertem os cintos, entre na nave estelar e bora pra aventura!
April 19th, 2023. Since the regressive extraterrestrials have been removed from the Sol system, a powerful enforcement has been deployed to guard it against eventual reprisals. These reinforcements are fleets from the Intergalactic Confederation and from the Negumak Gnomopo, nemesis of the CIAKAHRR, from the Scorpius constellation. They are all stationed in formations outside of the plasma shield of the Sol system. The Negumak are the only culture feared by the CIAKAHRR. The CIAKAHRR Empire is raging to be cut from the Sol system, and they started recently to increase provocation towards the Negumak. Well, you cannot simply play with the Negumak's nerves. The CIAKAHRR are visibly trying to start a war with them. To remind about the latest developments, in 2021, agreements were passed between the Negumak Gnomopo from the Antares star system and the Galactic Federation of Worlds in order to request assistance to the Negumak in the war that was raging in the Sol system. For the first time, a diplomatic dialogue was initiated with the Negumak. The Negumak Gnomopo are one of the oldest interstellar cultures in this galaxy. Tall and large, looking insectoid, they are not humanoid-based and their genetic composition is neither reptile, grey, human or anything else related. Negumak Gnomopo are unique. They are terrible warriors who terrorize everyone, even the CIAKAHRR. They are highly feared and not members of the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Negumak have the power to wipe out the CIAKAHRR out of existence if they decide to. But they are not moved by a desire of conquest and power, luckily for everyone. Their ships are made of a dark, glossy metal and of very elaborate shapes. Terran governments are well aware of their existence since first contact was made in 1989. The CIAKAHRR and Orion occupation forces tried to turn the Terrans against the Negumak, scaring everyone immensely and instilling fear regarding the future of humanity. The Cabal used, as they always do, a reverse narrative with the Hollywood movie Independence Day, where the Negumak are depicted as the terrible alien invader. The Cabal fears them, and if the Negumak would ever had to come to Earth in order to get this planet rid of the reptilian CIAKAHRR, we would have mistaken them as the frightening alien invaders. Interestingly enough, the only reason why the Negumak never intruded into our sector of the galaxy is because of territorial agreements passed with the Anunnaki. When the custodial tyranny of Enlil was defeated on Earth and Earth given back to their inhabitants, Enki, or Prince Ea as he is more commonly named, was put in charge to make this transition, giving back the sovereignty and custody of the solar system to its leading indigenous civilization, the Terrans. These accords were passed on Saturn's moon Mimas in December 2022. However, with the permission of the Earth Alliance, Enki didn't alter the territorial agreements protecting the area from Negumak intrusions, and thanks to this protection, the Negumak still need authorization of the Anunnaki and the Earth Alliance to penetrate the plasma barrier of our star system. The Negumak Gnomopo are officially and technically our allies. But in regards to their power, and as they are not members of the Galactic Federation of Worlds, understandable precautions are taken. On April 19, 2023, a Negumak ship was allowed by the Galactic Federation of Worlds to enter the Sol system to meet with representatives of the High Council and the High Command of the Excelsior, notably the head of the genetic department. The Negumak requested to access the Galactic Federation of Worlds genetic frequency database of Terra in order to locate specific CIAKAHRR hybrid signatures among the population of Terra. A considerable number of CIAKAHRR hybrids have been engineered during these last decades, and they are roaming free among the population of Terra. These hybrids are watched closely by the Galactic Federation of Worlds, but in regards to the galactic jurisdiction, they haven't been removed yet. They are under observation. Many of these CIAKAHRR hybrids were placed in positions of agents of the counterintelligence. The reason why the Negumak wish to locate these CIAKAHRR hybrids is that they intend to take them as hostages, to play in an attempt of peace negotiation with the CIAKAHRR. These hybrids are precious to the CIAKAHRR Empire, for they have human DNA and most of all, they hold key positions for the Cabal. The CIAKAHRR want them safe, but these negotiations may fail because why would the CIAKAHRR bother? As they probably already have some of these human hybrids among their ranks of the star system. The only material for negotiation is that if taken off, these CIAKAHRR hybrids will not be replaced, as the CIAKAHRR do not have power of action anymore on Earth and in this star system. This would be discussed in a meeting where I will be invited to participate as a reporter. I always want to meet a Negumak. Well, Thorhan told me that this was the occasion. I will not be allowed to interact, only to be present. The meeting would take place, as I was told first, in the solar system, in an undisclosed location. I did not even know at the time if I would attend physically or holographically from one of the Excelsior's meeting rooms. April 22, 2023. Early morning of April 22, 2023, I was taken on board a ship by teleportation, warned beforehand by 4 plasma orbs beaming down into my house as an escort. I was given my emissary uniform to wear, and when I was ready, I joined the members of the Excelsior's High Command in a holographic meeting room. Thorhan was there, with all the other officers of the High Command, preparing to project to an unknown location. I noticed only one was missing: High Commander Denethor. High Commander Adana appeared as a hologram, as she was already physically on the meeting spot with Denethor, giving us the signal to project there. I was given by Thorhan special dark blue gloves, same as those that everybody wore, meant to work with a particular technology I had never experienced before. These gloves had technology embedded. I was invited to imitate everyone and place my hands on a holographic pad on the circumference of a round table that looked like the holographic meeting tables I am familiar with. Thorhan explained to me that we would not project as holograms to the meeting location, but physically bilocate. This explained the different tech. I had never tried this before. This was a way of being there physically and at the same time able to withdraw instantly to the ship if any problem should occur. The sensation felt exactly as a teleportation, and I found myself sat in a hard, rudimentary chair carved in a type of dark olive green stone. The seat felt cold as ice, and I was wet. My whole body shivered. I noticed Thorhan beside me and the other members of the High Command sat alike in a semicircle facing a thick white mist. We were in a cave. It was dark, damp, and freezing cold. I heard Thorhan telepathically suggesting me to adjust my environmental belt, which I did by placing my left hand on a particular patch that read my biometric information and adjusted my body temperature and pressure conditions. Somehow, the bilocation technology didn't fall through for me with these parameters set for the personnel of the High Command, all Pleiadian Ahil without exception. Adana and Denethor were there, together with Una, Tayel and Gaitak, representing the Intergalactic Confederation, and two members of the High Council of the Galactic version of World. The Tangri Herald, representing the Council, and the Osman Lady, Galactic Law Attorney and Data Keeper for the Prime Directive documents. Ia wasn't present, but his absence made sense as the Anunnaki are no longer interfering in the politics of the Sol system. Ia may be invited as a consultant, but he has no weight in diplomatic decisions anymore here since the Mimas agreement. Suddenly, all the frightening things I had ever seen in my whole life faded ridiculously in the sight of what appeared walking out of the mist towards us. The vision terrified me to the core of my bones and beings. I lifted my knees against my chest, clenching my fingers in the wet, slippery armrest, and tears came through my eyes. I was shaking with uncontrollable fear. Thorhan grabbed my hand firmly. "Don't be scared," he said to me. "I know they look impressive, but the Negumak are nice people. Relax, please." The creature measured about 20 feet high, and we could hear others coming behind it in the mist, barely guessing their shapes in the Negumak's environmental mist. The frightening metallic sound of their sharp, claw-ended feet hitting the mineral ground was echoing dramatically in the cave. They looked like giant spiders with long tentacles coming from their back and browsing the space around them. They had massive heads with an exoskeleton shell covering their skin and a dragon-like crest waving in their neck. I understood in that moment why the Sikar themselves were terrified by them. Any life form in this universe should be. These guys were perfect, invincible creatures. I understood the bilocation precaution measures. Now, I heard Thorhan's voice again. They wanted us physically present. They don't do holographic meetings. Where are we? Inside of a moon of the 8th planet, An, that Terrans name Uranus. What moon? Terrans name it Ariel, chosen for its carbon dioxide atmosphere. Ardana stepped forward, hands on her hips, staring up at the Negumak's representative. Definitely, this woman couldn't be impressed by anything. They engaged a telepathic conversation, but sadly, I couldn't hear it, so Thorhan translated it for me. You do not have the Negumak language set up in your communicator, as they are not part of the Federation's languages. Ardana and the High Command received this upgrade, but there was no time to provide it to you, so I am meant to translate it for you. Ardana is explaining to him that we cannot give non-Federation members access to the Federation's genetic database. This is a rule. They need to become members first, which would be a fine move to our benefit. The lead Negumak's claw, handed, feet, hit the ground with anger, and I backed up further deep into my seat. The creature walked to the right, then to the left, dramatically browsing the mist above him with his long tentacles, when he stopped again in front of Ardana, who didn't move off a millimeter, stoic. She crossed her arms on her chest and stayed silent, waiting for the creature to calm down. Then, the Tangri herald stepped forward and addressed the Negumak. Thorhan translated. He is telling him about the reiteration of the offer from the High Council of the Federation to join our ranks. He is telling him now that the Federation cannot provide them with all the Sikar hybrids as they are meant to play a role in the Terran's consciousness awakening. Terrans need to experience the games they play in order to develop their discernment. He is reminding the Negumak that the laws and ethics of the Federation are against this type of removal. That must piss them off. It does. Negumak like their independence and doing things their way. The Negumak, visibly nervous, broke from telepathy and spoke aloud. His voice was terrifying. The language was made of rumbling and clicking sounds. He was pacing up and down the cavern, and I could hear the others agitating behind him. I squeezed Thorhan's hand harder and tried to control my breath, holding on to the thought that we could relocate to the ship at any moment if this was to turn bad. Then Thor stepped up and started to speak aloud in the Negumak language. The creature immobilized and listened to him with a careful attention. Then Thor is known as the scientist who cracked the code of the Nebu Hive, so he earned some respect throughout the galaxy. Thorhan continued the translation for me. Then Thor is telling him that we can provide 4 of the CIAKAHRR hybrids, but not them all. We can remove them from Terra and bring them to the Excelsior and keep them there in high surveillance as hostages on behalf of the Negumak. But we cannot give the hostages to them. The Negumak paced up and down the cave again, then turned towards the Osman lady who walked toward him. I like her. She has such a graceful and settled presence always. She spoke to the Negumak by telepathy and presented a holographic copy of the Prime Directive document to him, holding the blue shimmery sphere above her. Thorhan continued his report. She gives it to him that they can take time to consult all the clauses and chose to either join membership with the Federation and get to take the hostages with them, or accept our offer that we keep custody of the hostages for them. The Negumak lifted one of his 2 front arms that are terminated by sort of hands. He took the data holosphere and considered the Osman counselor. Thorhan translated. He is telling her that he will consider the 2 options with equal interest. That's good. The Negumak, all together, produced a loud sound to salute the assembly. Then they walked back and disappeared into the mist. I released Thorhan's hand and the tensions in my body at the same time. Ardana addressed us, a swift smile. It was time to relocate to the ship. Just before we proceeded, I noticed an Asian-looking man with short black hair, a triangular face and a yellow suit with black elements on it, in a corner of the room. Thorhan caught my thought. He's a Tashkeru. They have a colony on this moon. They facilitated this meeting. We relocated back to the ship, and I found myself again standing at the holographic table. I followed everyone, removing my palms from the by-location pads. We shall expect a second meeting now, Thorhan said to me aloud. They will give their decision. A sigh of relief, and which made Thorhan laugh. Hey, he said, gently punching my shoulder. You hassled me to get to make a Negumak. There you are. Shall I wait for the results of the second meeting, I asked, before reporting to the Terrans? That should be best, he answered. After that, up to your diplomatic skills to present them with this information. April 28, 2023. The Negumak Gnomopo gave their answer. I was invited on board the Excelsior to attend the replay of the holographic meeting that had occurred earlier during the day with the High Council. The holographic broadcast was replayed in a loop in the meeting room near the teleport bay. It was the same room when, in November 2021, Ardana showed me how holographic meetings worked. After we bid our farewells to our dear friend Valnek, who was leaving his function in the Galactic Federation of Worlds to move to a distant star system. So I knew the place well. The Gnomopo gave their answer. They are not joining membership with the Galactic Federation of Worlds in conditions of bargain. They found our rules, ethics, and the material of the Prime Directive suitable for them to join in the future, when they will choose the right moment. This news is positive and game-changing for us, knowing that this impending membership of the Negumak Gnomopo will grant us more power and protection. However, the reason why they prefer to wait and ponder this decision means that they are serious about it. If they accepted only for reason of hostages bargain, this would have not been a reliable decision. The Gnomopo have honor and ethics, and this is good. This is better than I would have expected, I said. Yes, it is, she replied, for all of us. What is the situation now with the hostages, I asked. As offered, we will keep them in our custody for the Gnomopo until they conclude their negotiations with the CIAKAHRR. What if they ask for termination of the hostages because their negotiations failed? This will not likely happen. Are you sure? We have technology to calculate the near future timeline of events, and in this case, this doesn't happen. What if? In respect of the agreement, we would hand the hostages to the Gnomopo. What are the pronostics for these negotiations? The CIAKAHRR back up when they learn that the Negumak Gnomopo joined the Galactic Federation of Worlds. This, together with the joined forces of the Intergalactic Confederation, presents no chance for the CIAKAHRR to gain anything. They are proud. They will not forgive this. One day, a great war shall come in this galaxy, with only one winner. This great war will oppose the Galactic Alliance to the CIAKAHRR Empire for a final combat. This is building up, and it is unavoidable. The unbeatable forces of the Intergalactic Confederation will put an end to this madness, and the CIAKAHRR will become only but a faint memory of an era. Will this great galactic war impact the Sol system? It will impact the whole galaxy, but it will not last for long. It will mark the end of the CIAKAHRR Empire once and for all. Prince Ia was here earlier. He assured us that the full power of the Anak Empire will fight alongside ours. Do you see? It will be more about a clearing than an actual war. It will be over quickly. The empires of chaos must be fought. This is the balance of the universe.